Hello everyone, so today I'm just going to be doing a nature and art vlog. So I'm going to start off by taking you on a nice little walk. So I will say there is a little bit of flashing light where the sun came through the trees, so that's just a little warning. And also it was very windy this day. I have tried to edit it so it's a little less loud, but I'm not too sure how well that worked. So this pencil case here, I think I've had for about maybe a year, maybe less actually. But I really liked it because it's ginormous and it holds so many art supplies, but unfortunately the zip broke. Now I'm going to go ahead and pretend that it wasn't all of my art stuff crammed inside of it that broke the zip, but it probably was. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a new pencil case, which is probably a blessing because then I can make a pencil case that has more of the stuff that I would usually use straight away rather than just random stuff that didn't fit anywhere else. Okay, so I have moved everything essential. So my pencil case is smaller. So it's a simple pencil case. It was actually a beauty bag. A beauty bag full of stuff, and I use the stuff inside and I repurpose the bag because why not? I've done that a lot of times for pencil cases actually. Sometimes a beauty bag, it's bag with a zip on it, anything can go in it, so yeah. So I didn't get rid of my other one that I showed. It's just holding some other stuff that I don't always use, so it's still got stuff in it. But yeah, I don't think I've ever done a pencil case tour before. I think I did a favourite supplies a couple of years ago. I don't know. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Am I just going to tip it out, and then we'll take stuff out one by one. Okay, one by one. A pair of scissors. I mean, to cut things. I have this pencil. So this pencil is just a cheap one from those little packs. Obviously, I've used the rubber. And I really like I do have like I say, when I get to it, I've got a Faber-Castell thick jumbo pencil that I really enjoy. But sometimes like these, obviously these are not jumbo, so they aren't as thick. So if I want a lighter sketch, I use that. Rubbers. I normally try and carry in my pencil cases as many as I can because I've always had a habit since school of losing an eraser / rubber, we call them rubber, somewhere, just somewhere. I've always lost them and I always end up finding them in strange places. Bulldog clip. I put this in my pencil case because I saw a lot of people use them to hold their sketchbook pages together. I don't really use this that often, to be honest, but it was just something to put in there in case I do use it. Yeah, it was small enough to fit in there. It's useful if I want neater writing, better handwriting than my own, so an ordinary pen. This is a Z grip zebra pen. It's just an ordinary pen. Sharpener. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory, really. I do have sharpeners that have the ones where obviously they've actually got a bin. I don't know what to call it. I guess they've got a, like, the, you know, the sharpener's the lid, and then they have a bin for the stuff to go in. But at the moment, my two favourite ones have got pencil lead actually stuck in the sharpening, and I haven't been able to get them out yet. Oh, I love these pens. Pilot pen. The ones that rub out with friction. I love these pens. I remember I bought some once in school, and I absolutely loved that pen. And one of my friends actually asked if they could keep one of them, so they love the pen too, and they got a free pen. Then obviously this Uniball I fine pen. I was so sad. Sorry, this one. You can see I've removed the clip. I'm a person who fiddles with it and eventually it snaps. But yeah, so this one ran out of ink, which I was very upset about. So I do have another one, but I think this is my last one. I think after this I'll probably have to buy a new one, but that's one of my favourite pens. It's a very go-to pen. Here is the jumbo pencil I was just talking about. So I managed to go to a shop and get a package of more than one pencil in a box. So I'm going through them one by one. So there's that one. Barrel handwriting pen. I like this because it's one of my favourite pens to do the ink and watercolour technique that I do. With that being said, since I've started obsessively using the fountain pen, which you'll see in here, I haven't used this for a while, but I always keep it with me because it's another way to do that technique, and the ink is a slightly different colour, so you get a different tone. Again, another rubber, only this time this one is still packaged. So okay, I think we're getting less now. Oh, hang on. There we go. Again, some pens. So I always have a gold and a silver in my pencil case. I've always had a gold and silver, just because I like gold and silver. I've always had like some sort of metallic pen, and these are also Uniball. I've always loved these too. I think normally I have to replace the gold more than silver, because normally the gold's just a bit, in my opinion, is a bit more pigmented than the silver. Just a white acrylic marker. This is an unbranded one that I got from like a really cheap set. I see they're really cheap, they're unbranded, but they're actually really good quality. In my opinion, I think they work really well. So I put a white one for highlights in my pencil case. And then I have the Uniball Signo. For ages, I kept calling that Figno. I don't know why. Yeah, so no, it's a Signo white Uniball pen. And again, that's for highlights. And I just bought a new one the other day for when this runs out, because there's not a lot of ink left, because I use it a lot. Another sharpener. Another rubber. Okay, so these are my ink wash pens. So I made them, I was about to say I made them myself, not the plastic, not the brush. They're water brush pens, just filled with different, what's the way to put it? They've got different dilutions with water, so I can't remember which one's which, but I think this one, by the looks of the colour, I think this one is more ink than water, and then this one is more water than ink, so this is obviously lighter than the other, so I keep them. A fine liner pen. It's an Art Studio fine liner pen. an ordinary pen, another pen just to write with. Oh, this was a new purchase. I haven't had this long and I've only used it once or twice, but it is a Watercolour acrylic paint marker in gold. So like I say, it's a new purchase. There's a lot of ink in there. I've only used it a couple of times, but it seems really nice so far. And I think you can get a silver. Maybe you can get other colours, I don't know, but I only saw a gold. Spritz bottle. Spray bottle if I take watercolours with me. One of my favourite art supplies. Glue stick. It's a glue pen. It's a Talon glue pen. So I have a little local shop that sells these. I can't seem to find them anywhere else but this shop, and I have always collected them because they're so easy to use, they're so easy to take with you, and they actually work really well. So yeah. And then the fountain pen that I use, obviously, that I've been using in this sketchbook. So that's this pen. And then last but definitely not least, this is another fountain pen, and this is a bit more posh. I think I've had that one for quite a lot of years, and it's manuscript, but it's one of the cheaper ones that came in a set where they give you different nibs, I think. And then this one was a gift, it was a present, and so it's very sentimental, and I haven't used it a lot yet. I don't know whether that's because it's a sentimental gift, but it stays with me, and it is also beautiful. So that's pretty much my pencil case. I've set up everything that I normally use, that I always go for, and some other stuff that's useful, like, you know, just ordinary pens if someone wants an ordinary pen. So yeah, so I don't know if this was boring. I know I've done this before. I don't really know how to talk about the art supply and make it really exciting, because like if I say I've got a pencil, you can probably gather that I'm going to sketch with the pencil. Okay, bye. So on another day I went on a different walk by the riverbank, and this is such a beautiful place. It's a nice hidden area that's just so nice, and on the video it looks really warm, like it looks like a hot summer's day. It wasn't, it was actually really nice, and the wind cooled down any too much warmth, so I was really happy. I also saw some swans on the river just enjoying their time swimming around, having a bath, I guess. And then I went to the bridge, and you can see, when I zoom in, you can actually see there's a school of fish at the bottom of the water just swimming around, enjoying the time. It was really hard to see at first. I thought it might have been the way the weeds underwater were moving, but no, it's a school of fish. So here is me trying to chase a orange-tipped butterfly, and the entire walk I'd been waiting for one to land so I could get a nice photo, and then this one here, you'll see in a second, it ended up being my photo of inspiration for my painting later on in this video. So you'll have just seen me trying to chase this orange-tipped butterfly. I downplayed it a little bit. I was chasing this orange-tipped butterfly all up and down that riverbank trying to wait for it to land, and it never seemed to want to land. And when it did land, it was always in the strangest places. It was either landed in a bunch of nettles or prickly plants or thistles, and at one point it landed at the edge of the riverbank, and between me and you, I didn't want to risk falling in the river because I am clumsy. I would have fallen in the river. Trust me, I did not want that. So anyway, eventually it did land. So you'll just have seen obviously the video of it finally landing. That was at the end of the walk. Halfway through the walk, I had kind of given up and been like, oh, never mind, I can probably image search an orange tip butterfly as my reference. But there's nothing more fun than taking a photo of your own reference and sketching from your own photo. So the video at the end ended up being my photo. I just screenshotted a section of the video that I liked, and that became my reference for my sketch. So for my sketch, I ended up doing my ink, my fountain pen ink and watercolour technique that I've been doing a lot lately. So if you've watched a couple of my other videos, that shouldn't be a surprise. That being said, I think I've only done 3. I need to do more, actually. I need to get some time and do some more of those videos because they're really fun. I love doing playing about with my ink pen. So now that I've done the background, I'm moving on to working on the butterfly. So I was being very careful doing the outline because I didn't want to do too dark, too thick of a line because obviously it was such a small area on the butterfly's wing. I didn't want to mess it up when I added the watercolour and have it be completely black. That's happened before. So I was trying to be very careful and kind of strategic to where I put all my little pen marks, especially on the head, which you'll see me try and sketch in now. That was probably the most difficult part, was because it was such a small area, so I think I only did like 1 or 2 flicks of my pen. So now starting to work on the butterfly's colours on the wings. So I was watching TV at the time. I sat in a very comfy chair. I just had a water brush with me and my watercolour palette. So I started to put down my colours. So I did an orange, and I was very careful, and I was kind of timid actually putting the orange down because, like I said, I didn't want it to come out too dark when it mixed with the ink. So right now you'll see that I'm starting to work on the wing of the butterfly. Ignore this. So I did a mix of an orange, a little bit of the ink that obviously I did the outline with, mixed them together to make kind of a light brown grey colour. Like I said, ignore it. I liked it at first, and then I started actually doing details with a black uniball pen. Ignore that too. I ended up not liking that it wasn't white enough, wasn't accurate enough to an actual orange tip butterfly, so I used an acrylic white marker. But the problem was it exploded. It exploded on me, it exploded on my clothes, my hands, but I did cut that out, the exploding part. So at one point you just suddenly see that the butterfly has white wings. And now it's me just adding the highlights to the grass in the illustration. So a couple of days later, after I'd been to the riverbank the first time, I went back there a little bit more in the evening, and it was a lot cooler and it was very calm, and I think it had some beautiful colours, so I captured a bit of footage of that walk. So these are some really pretty wild forget-me-nots. At least they look like them. I did some research on them, I'm pretty sure that's what they are. So I have been trying to grow forget-me-nots along with my mum was trying to grow forget-me-nots as well for about maybe 2 to 3 years, just from like the packet forget-me-nots of seeds you can get. And I've never managed to grow them, and I don't think she ever managed to grow them either. But I found these growing at the bottom of my bird food tray. I didn't plant them there. So I have a bird feeder and it's in a tub full of sand to make it more stable and make it higher off the ground. And yeah, I just woke up one morning and saw these pretty blue flowers, and I couldn't believe it to find out that they were forget-me-nots. And after finding these forget-me-nots, I was very happy to have them. So they've grown since that footage you saw of me showing you the forget-me-not. A lot more have grown, so I'm very happy about that. I'm not sure if I can transplant them to a different place without them, fading, but we'll see. So you'll see that I just did a little sketch in the top corner of my sketchbook. I ended up colouring them with Crayola markers, the super tips. I used the pastel set to do the forget-me-not colour because it happened to be such a pretty blue that matched it so well. I mean, not perfectly, but it matched the colour nicely. I also used a pastel yellow. I don't think the Crayola super tips have names. The yellow for the top of the leaves, and then a darker green from just the normal super tip set to make it darker. And then I used my brush with some water on it to blend them together because they're water based. You can kind of use them with watercolours, which is one of my favourite techniques to use Crayola markers. It's a super fun way to use them. And then I used a yellow Posca pen to do the middle of the flower. And then I'm pretty sure I've finished with this cute little illustration on my sketchbook page. So here is a little close-up of the sketchbook spread we have been working on for this video. I really like how it turned out. There are a couple of sketches that I didn't get footage of, you'll notice. Here is the full view of the finished sketchbook spread. I loved how this turned out, and I had so much fun making this and also making the video. This sketchbook is almost finished.